together and I'll share my knowledge.
Will there be a campfire to gather around?
I don't know.
I hope so.
Audra, I can't really read that. Does it say that part of your cognitive function stack is FU?
Obviously.
For your
Why are you being such a edgy teenager? What's going on there?
Her cognitive function stack got dented at the supermarket parking lot the other day, and she's still fussy about it.
Cracked open a can of cognitive biscuits and just moisture went everywhere.
She said, "Oh, good Lord, of my cognitive biscuits."
You know, it's really bad when you get those cognitive biscuits and then they, explode in the back seat. Sounds like gunshots and just chaos everywhere.
Reminded me of that story. The lady who apparently had gotten groceries, had biscuits, and I don't know if it was like super hot in the car or whatever the reason was, but apparently the can of biscuits exploded. And she thought it was a gunshot. And she went to check herself, apparently, to see if she was okay. I don't know why. But apparently she started to feel the back of her head because she felt something, I guess. And she felt the dough from the biscuits and thought it was like her brains or something, so she remained very still. And it was like, I think, I don't know how much later, it's like the paramedics got there and they're like, yeah, that's biscuit dough.
Yeah, I remember when that happened. Hunter and before. Always a goodie.
She nearly had a heart attack on that. She almost went to cardiac arrest.
I don't know what. Like, sometimes I imagine that in really serious situations, I'll snap into focus or something like that. But if I thought that my brains were hanging out of my head, I'd probably just continue thinking about whatever I think about, just like memes and shit. My final moments would be me singing the Epic Saxophone Guy song in my head. Either that or the Shooting Star meme or something like that.
I don't know, I feel like it would have been, some lines of, one hand's probably enough to keep the brains in if that's what you think needs to go on, and the other one you'd be like trying to figure out what your brains smell like or something. Like, while I have this opportunity, I might as well, see what I can learn.
Right. Well, I have this. Ooh, interesting. I found out so much, and your head just goes into the steering wheel. To the horn going.
Yeah, pretty much. You're like, well, I might as well continue to. You're like, I don't see a solution, therefore, we shall just see what sort of, thinking we can do about this until.
You die and you're standing.
We can gain.
You die and you're standing before the pearly gates, and you're just like, if for no other reason, allow me access to this heaven because I know what my brains smell like. And they're all just sort of clapping. They're like, that is interesting. None of us know what our brains smell like.
Yeah. What happened to you? You're like, well, I was holding my brains inside my skull, but then I got curious.
How'd you die? I was too open-minded.
Open-minded, my brain started to fall out, and so curious that I kept pulling.
So, Susanna, did you have any particular reasons why you chose that stacking for instincts? Best fit description. Okay. Yeah, I struggled with the descriptions a bit more because it, like, self-preservation, social stackings, really just like the sexual blind stackings really aren't, like if you have a 4-fix in your tri-type, probably not going to jive with those well.
What do you mean?
Well, they get described as more bland than I think they are. It's like even the names you'll see get used, like archetypal names and stuff like that. You'll get stuff like, it's like the self-preservation sexual, which has a social blind spot, gets described as things like the gravedigger and the pirate and different things like that. And then self-preservation social gets described as friggin' the land surveyor, or like the farmer or shit like that. I'm like, so what I'm saying is, like, people with like 4 fixes, I think, are gonna struggle to identify with that more if they're sexual blind.
What? I don't know what you mean now.
Sexual blind being like that's their, like, the blind is like a blind spot, like your like last instinct. It's the one you sort of put off to the side and you don't focus as much energy on. It's like for you that would be social if sexual self-preservation you're stacking.
But I thought it was order or prioritization, like what would fit the most.
Yeah, but I don't see how that differs from what I'm saying.
Okay.
I think maybe we're confused as to what the other one is saying, but I'm not sure how. So, like, I'm not sure what I'm missing.
Me neither.
Yeah. Okay. Good talk. But
But are you not supposed to pick, like, the first one is the one you identify with the most?
yeah.
Yeah, then why do you think that's wrong? Or don't you?
No, that's not really what I think's wrong.
I think you had a thought, not a point.
Yeah.
Okay, I just
Might
could
depend.
not grasp the thought.
I mean, if it's helpful to understand at all, I think my Enneagram tri-type is 964, which is basically triple doubting. It's like I think that would explain, at least in part, maybe not explain, but correlate with why I seem to offer quite a number of thoughts, but not necessarily points. It's because I'm not sure and I'm trying to reach consensus on some things. Sort of trying to figure stuff out.
What are you trying to figure out? Doctors in the house.
I'll go with private insurance.
Huh? I was not paying attention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, I wasn't paying attention, but you have my leg open and you're doing surgery. You're like, oh yeah, I probably should be paying attention.
Is Nick still in here? He had surgery.
Oh, did he?
Sort of.
He had T-Pals and his B-Tox.
He had chest implants. Just
Well,
massive armored
on the lower
pecs.
end.
Oh, did he?
No, he had some sort of injection, I think. I don't know. He'd have to tell you.
Got his balls waxed, probably.
I don't know.
But you said, was it something about the 4 affecting the 5?
Yeah. Well, no, not the 4 affecting the 5. Not that. I was talking about the stackings. Like, I'm saying, like, in the descriptions, in some of what I read, pretty much what I was saying is like it took me a while to get around to seeing myself as potentially sexual blind, just because a lot of the descriptions, I don't think we're really doing the different stackings justice or whatnot. And like, hold on, give me just a second. So, like something I had thought before was I'd heard people describe like the sexual instinct as like the one that like drives you to like search for stuff that makes you feel alive and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm sexually alive. Yeah. No, but it's like they talk about the sexual instinct like that's the one that makes you feel alive, or like they talk about it like it's the intimacy instinct or something like that. And it's like really more than sexual, it's like trying to tap into things that make you feel alive, or trying to, connect with existence more as self-preservation, whereas intimacy, like actually like psychological and emotional interchanges with other people, is more social. Whereas sexual is more like the need for, I don't know if I want to use this term just because I want to be accurate, but it seems like I've heard the term juicy or something like that. It's like the sexual types are like that they need to feel just say yeah, need to feel attractive. I thought it was really interesting because
I'm that.
Yeah, I read about it. It's some weird stuff.
I wouldn't say it's weird. But
So this article that you sent,
yeah.
it goes, so self-preservation, and then it says dominant and blind spot. Are you supposed to choose between the two
Yeah, you would choose.
on all 3?
Yeah, so like it's a stacking.
Uh,
I mean, if you don't want to really get into the stacking necessarily, you could just try to identify which one is dominant. So like, I'd say for me, my dominant is self-preservation. However, how that is manifested is changed based on Enneagram. So it's like, Audra, I'm pretty sure is self-preservation 8, and she's collected skills and skills and well, I mean, shit, she's collected skills. She shoots stuff, she breaks things, all this different stuff. Whereas it's like I'd say my Enneagram type is probably 9, and like I haven't had that same drive to go out and sort of conquer in that way, but I'd still say that I'm self-preservation, and I sort of try to get my sort of physical needs met in a sort of 9-ish comforted sort of way.
so you're supposed to combine the Enneagram with this.
You can do them separately, like instinctual type isn't dependent upon Enneagram. However, I think it really helps snapping into focus, because somebody may be like, oh, I think I'm a self-preservation dominant, but I'm not like big on like survival skills or stuff like that, but it's like
Ken, I'll teach you skill.
Thanks, Taylor. See, Taylor's an SP8. He knows what's up.
Fuck yeah.
We hoard such wonderful stuff.
You want to learn knives or guns?
I would